everybody, sitting here today. I had an idea come to me while I was in the shower this morning, and that is that I wanted to talk about tools, and specifically I kind of had this funny idea. Well, I remembered this funny idea, and I forget the context of it, but at some point someone said to me, "Man, men have tools for everything." And I think what it was is I mentioned my boots had gotten wet, and I was going to put them on the boot dryer when I got home. And that just made whoever I was talking to, they laughed, and they said, "Men have tools for everything." So, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, man, I'm like, tools are really great. And so I've sort of picked out a couple tools here to show you all in a place, none other than my workbench here, which is, in fact, just a old kitchen table that my family was getting rid of. I took it and I turned it into my workbench. So let's begin. First, I'd like to speak about this lighter here. This is a Clipper lighter. It's got a cool trippy design on it. I don't know how long I've had this thing. Probably a couple years, I just used it to light that there candle that certainly needs its wick trimmed. But these lighters are great. If you're a smoker, if you're somebody who just likes candles, if you're somebody who just needs a lighter for whatever reason, or feels like that's something you want to carry, these are really, really great. They're particularly good for smokers because they have this little tool attached to the flint wheel here. So the flint wheel is replaceable by this mechanism. And you can use this to kind of prod at whatever it is you're smoking, or your candles, or whatever have you. And of course, also they're refillable. Pretty nice. I think the Clipper company is independent, but I also think Bic kind of makes a version of this. But I get them from the Clipper company. Probably just got this at a gas station. And yeah, clipperlighters.us, Hippie 1444. That's the design printed on the side of this thing. Anyway, that being said, great tool. Love these things. Recommend them for everybody who might like a nice lighter. Let's take a look. Here's my knife. This is a Ontario Rat 2 D2, I believe. You can see it was painted black, but it's kind of beat up. I've had this for a couple years now, and it's my first nice knife that I've owned, right? It's nice. I have owned nicer knives than this, but this is the first one I've owned that's decent that I'm willing to beat up. I have a friend who's really into knives who helped me sharpen this thing, and he did a really great job, and I've been getting a lot of life and use out of it, especially considering I started working construction. The guys on the job, they laugh at me whenever I pull this thing out because they think it's dull or beat up or not really good, and sometimes it kind of is. I'm probably using it for the wrong job. It's probably the wrong tool for the job a lot of the time. However, that being said, I really like it. It's really durable. It's very easy to maintain and fix. If anything comes loose, which it often does not, I'll just tighten it here with an Allen wrench. This here handle is fixed to the knife here. However, it used to be fixed here, and it was the other way. So when it would be in my pocket, it would be like this, down into my pocket. And my friend who's really into knives, he advised me to not have it like that because it could come open in my pocket and stick me. He said you want it so the blade is facing up, and so I switched where the handle was at. Great knife. The blade's made of D2 steel, which is why it's the Ontario Rat 2 D2. D2 steel is probably the cheapest nice steel you can get, if you could even call it nice. Moving on. Here are my keys. It's funny because there's no actual keys on it right now. First, let's talk about the carabiner on here. These are great. I love carabiners. I clip my keys to my belt on my left hip every day, and they stay there all day. These have been pretty reliable for me. I've only lost it a couple times. I'm thinking of upgrading to a carabiner that actually locks because losing it twice is twice too many times when it comes to keys, so might do that. Here are my earplugs. I'm a musician. I go to a lot of concerts. As you can see, these are pretty worn. I've probably had these about 4 years. They're great. They work great. And the only thing that needs to change is this container is starting to wear, so I'll have to get a new little stash can for it. Here's my Beer for Life bottle opener from a local brewery. If you're in the greater Philadelphia area, you may have had Fuego by Tonewood. It's kind of their very popular beer that they brew. It's a nice IPA. Anyway, and then here's my car key for my beloved 2023 Mazda 3 hatchback, which is with a manual transmission. That is one of my favorite tools for sure. Great little setup I got going here. The bottle opener is nice. Like I said, I don't know if I said this actually. I didn't have one until recently, and so I invested in this, and it was good. Let's talk about this. I want to talk about this right here. Some of you might recognize what this is, especially if you're a man. Not because I'm saying, oh, you're ignorant to what a razor is if you're not a man, but me and other young men I know, and older men, have been getting marketed this little tool, this machine here, relentlessly for the past 2 or 3 years. This is the Henson AL13, which is a safety razor manufactured by the fine folks over at the Henson Shaving Company. This one's actually from Dr. Squatch, but it has nothing to do with Dr. Squatch. I don't know if you can see there. It says Dr. Squatch. This has nothing to do with Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch is a mediocre, subpar product manufacturer, if they actually manufacture anything. What they are is a pretty good marketing company that sells people slightly cool bath products and whatnot that are marked up because they have good branding and good marketing. So I would never advise buying anything from them. That being said, the folks over at Henson, which do in fact make a very good product, teamed up with them sometime recently and sent them this razor for them to sell in this cool, this beautiful emerald green color. And I had been putting off buying this razor for a couple years, even though I think it's a really, really awesome product for a lot of reasons. I was putting off buying it because I didn't need it as much as I wanted it. As you can see, I sport a clean shave, and that is by choice, but it's not a coincidence. I grow very, very thin facial hair, and up until recently, I shaved maybe once a week, but the past few months, as I've gotten older here, my facial hair has certainly started coming in a lot more strongly and regularly. So I figured it might be time to upgrade my shaving game. So I finally invested in this. These normally go for about $80 off of Henson's website, but Dr. Squatch said, if you give us your phone number and email and let us sell it and market to you, we'll give this to you for $50 plus shipping. And I thought, well, unfortunately, it has the Dr. Squatch brand on the top of it right there. However, it's still the Henson AL13. This is identical to the Henson AL13, which is a great, great product that I would recommend everybody buy if you need it. So I said, okay, that's a fine deal, Dr. Squatch. So I gave them all my information because everybody in the world already has it and can get it if they want to at all. I don't think that privacy exists anymore. Anyway, got it, $50 shipped to my door. First thing I did after I placed the order was unsubscribe from the marketing emails that Dr. Squatch sent me. I texted them stop in all caps when they started texting me, even though they didn't tell me I could do that. I just figured I could, and what do you know, I got an automated response back. You've successfully been unsubscribed. So, great product. Very, very finely machined and very well made. Compatible with any single cartridge razor. This is not a how do you say, this is not a proprietary design. Any company can manufacture razors for this, and you can get about a 3-year supply of razors for about $10, $15. So definitely worth it in the long run. You're not creating unrecyclable waste with this thing. I don't see anything that could go wrong with it. You replace the razors by twisting the head off here, so the only thing I see that could ever possibly go wrong with this is maybe you strip out the threads if you're not careful. But that being said, I see no reason why I wouldn't own this for life, and it's very, very cheap to own. I mean, like I said, a 3-year supply of razors is, about 100 razors is about $10 to $20 depending on where you get them. So, great product. Let's take a look. This is an awesome little tool right here. This is an electric screwdriver. It goes forwards and backwards. It's just the touch of these two buttons here. It's micro USB rechargeable. I wish it were USB-C, but it doesn't really matter. And it has this flashlight affixed to the top of it. So it's very useful for whatever I want to use it for. Right now, I've got another great tool attached to it. I've got this here, this is a tool that we use in restringing guitars. What this does is it goes over the tuning peg of a guitar or bass tuner, and you spin it on a screwdriver or a drill really fast, and it makes your string go on much quicker. It's not for regular tuning, it's from when we're restringing the instrument. When you restring an instrument, like an electric guitar, you might have to sit there and wind it with your fingers or like a hand winder tool for like over a minute, and it gets very tedious and it's exhausting. This makes the process much easier. So of course, I can put any regular bit into this, and that little sleeve chuck there can fit a big variety of things into this. Very useful tool made by the fine folks over at Hybro in Korea. I bought this from Lambertones, which is a guitar lutherie company, but they are mainly known for making pickups, and they also sell some tools from other manufacturers. I think this was about $50. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. I got a couple more things to talk about. Here's my water bottle. I am somebody who is very passionate about hydration. I went to a private school in which I spent a lot of time outside for a vast majority of the day, so it was very important that me and all the other kids, we had a nice water source on us. And this isn't the bottle I had in high school. In high school I had a hydro flask. It was only 500 milliliters. This is 1,000. The 500 milliliter bottle was great, but I'd have to fill it maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the day just because I would drink through it so quickly. But it was light, it was easy to store, it was convenient, and I did like the screw-off lid on it. It was a lot quieter than this. If I want to sip some water out of this, I push the button, it comes up. It's actually a lot quieter than it usually is. Anyway, all that being said, this is great. The stickers that I or other people have thrown on this thing have adhered very well over the years through countless dishwashing incidents. It's great. It's great getting a nice water bottle that you can have for years and years. It's great. You can tell it's beat up. It's lived a useful life. And I probably got a couple more years out of this thing. You know, I've had it for, I think, 4 years now. Got it at Walmart for like 20 bucks. It's great. Highly recommend getting yourself a decent water bottle. Alright, lastly here, I'd like to talk about this bass guitar that's sitting on the bench here. This is probably the coolest tool that I've gotten recently. And it's an instrument, but it's also a tool. It serves a purpose. It plays music for me. I use it to play music on a stage or at home or what have you. This is a fretless 5-string custom bass that I built with the help of my good handy friend who's not quite a luthier, but he's really making his way there with work like this. Now I will say we didn't build the neck because building a guitar or bass neck is essentially rocket science in the lutherie world if you're not very experienced, whereas building a body, that was simple enough for a craftsman like him. And I say like him, he did the majority of the work and planning, but I was there with him for basically every step of the way. It was a really fun process. We learned so much together. It was really cool. So this took about a year to build. I picked all of the hardware and pickups and electronics out myself, and I did actually wire this up myself, and it's a very versatile instrument with the exact specifications that I wanted. It was super expensive. It was, I think it cost me over $3,000 all in to build this thing, and I will say, it is a very nice instrument, and it does play really well. It plays really well, luckily. I'm really happy about that, considering all the work I put into it, but, you know, this will probably get its own spotlight and a more detailed look eventually. But, my God, do I love this thing. I call it the DB1, stands for Dream Bass 1, because it is my dream bass. It does everything I want it to, how I want it to. It's everything I ever could have wanted, and I built it myself with the help of my friends, and it is perfectly imperfect. Made of maple, walnut, and maple on the neck and body, and the fingerboard is ebony. The neck's also, right, I said the neck was maple and walnut. Anyway, everyone, as I sit here and end this video, I can look around and think, man, I'm surrounded by so many more interesting tools that I could talk about. But I won't. I've said enough. I think if I were you, I would take a look around and see what tools are around you that you could find and be grateful for, or say, man, that's cool. This has been me. This has been my candle, and this has been my stuff. Signing off. See you next time. Hey everybody, I was just starting to edit that video I just filmed, and you can actually see the camera and the workbench behind me. Real quick, forgot to mention, you saw me put it on at the start of the video, I never mentioned it. Here's my beloved Fossil watch, which I wear every day. It's really great. It's got 3 subdials, 24-hour time format, day of the week, and day of the month. It's great. It's reliable. It was really cheap. It was like $100. I've had it for like 4 or 5 years, and it's incredible. Also, a really great tool. I'm watching the video. My eyeglasses. These are Ray-Ban titanium frames I've had for about 5 years. I put transition lenses in them. They help me see, and they stop the sun from hurting my damn eyes. Yeah. That's it. Those are the two tools I forgot that were really worth talking about. Okay, have a great night, day, afternoon, whatever.